latest news in North Central Washington, go to ncwlife.com or find us on Facebook. Got a news tip? Email us at news@ncwlife.com or call 888-2020. Good Tuesday evening and welcome to the NCW Life Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window. Another beautiful day across north central Washington, late spring now. As we look down at the beautiful upper Wenatchee Valley from our monitor camera, beautiful green out there, isn't it? Some high clouds out there today, some along the horizon, but really all in all a nice day with temperatures in the lower to even middle 80s, but things will change beginning tomorrow and tomorrow night. You notice that in our area, Douglas, Okanagan, Chelan, and Grant counties, we all have a chance for widespread thunderstorm activity tomorrow. Some of these isolated showers could contain heavy rain and maybe even some small hail, and we will tell you more about that coming up a little bit later on in your weather forecast. And now a few of the news stories we're following for you tonight. A representative from the Chelan-Douglas Land Trust updated Chelan County Commissioners Monday on the recent purchase by the Land Trust that will create a new trailhead to protect the land near Hay and Nahum Canyon. And with levees built to withstand expected river flows and sandbags stockpiled throughout Okanagan County, emergency crews have completed flood protection efforts along the Okanagan River. But first, we begin tonight. A Chelan County Commissioner's comment opposing plans to bring grizzly bears into the North Cascades wilderness are being criticized as inaccurate by an official with the group Conservation Northwest. NCW Life News Director Steve Hare reports.
Grizzly bears are a magnificent animal, and it's not fair to them to force them into an area where not only aren't they welcome, but they aren't well suited. And they talk about a landscape that's very pristine. It got to be pristine without a grizzly bear there. And to introduce an apex predator makes no sense. When Chelan County referred to a great place to live and work and play, that will very severely restrict that ability.
Chelan County Commissioner Doug England strongly objects to the plans by U.S. Fish and Wildlife and the National Park Service to bring the bears into the North Cascades from British Columbia. He said they're not native to the area, furthermore, would conflict with the county's ag and tourism-based economy. But Conservation Northwest Director of Communications Chase Gunnell says England's comments are not based in fact.
It's perfectly reasonable to debate the merits of grizzly bear restoration in the North Cascades, and we certainly don't minimize some of the local concerns and opinions about that issue. But it is not reasonable to debate the factual record that grizzly bears are a native species in the North Cascades, including in Chelan County. And the historical record from sightings over the last century, as well as more recent sightings, such as one near Glacier Peak in 1996, are very clear about the presence of this species in our area.
Gunnell adds that only a small number of bears are to be brought into the area in a gradual manner over the course of several years.
I think I would say two things. The first being that the plan that has been proposed by the National Park Service and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service to recover this species in the North Cascades is quite reasonable, it's incremental, and it includes only 25 bears over 5 to 10 years. So there will not be a grizzly behind every tree. We're not going to see the level of bear activity that might be seen in places like Yellowstone. This is a slow process over a very long time in a very large area. The other thing I would say is that there are abundant methods available for people living, working, and playing in bear country to coexist with these animals. And in fact, people in places like Northeast Washington, where there are grizzly bears, Montana, Idaho, Alaska, they do coexist with relatively few exceptions. Those exceptions may make the news, but they're far from the rule, and there are tools available for people in bear country to avoid conflicts.
The North Cascades grizzly reintroduction plans are the subject of an ongoing environmental impact study, which was recently started back up on orders by U.S. Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke. Now, the EIS considers 4 options, starting with no action at all, and then 3 other options calling for varying degrees of importation from 10 to 25 bears or even more. Animals of appropriate age and sex would be trapped in Montana or British Columbia and then released in remote sites in the North Cascades. there then to live and reproduce. The goal is a population of 200 bears within 25 to 100 years. Steve Hare, NCW Life News.
Thank you, Steve. A representative from the Chelan-Douglas Land Trust updated Chelan County Commissioners Monday on the recent purchase by the Land Trust that will create a new trailhead and protect the land near Hay and Nahum Canyon. Here's more on that story. The $500,000 purchase permanently protects the land near Kashmir. Kurt Soper, executive director of the Chelan-Douglas Land Trust, says the 1,800-acre land purchase took years of planning. It would not have been possible without the cooperation of the private landowners.
This has been many years in the works and a lot of hard work from a lot of folks, a lot of commitment, but what we're announcing this week is the permanent protection of about 2,200 acres up both Hay and Nahum Canyons outside of Kashmir, and it will be called the Kashmir Canyons Preserve. The landowners here have been committed, I think, from the day they first acquired the property, and that's more than 25 years ago. They have been wanting to permanently conserve the property, and more importantly, and of great benefit to our community, they've also been interested in inviting the public to come out and use and enjoy the property the way they have these many years. You just don't run into too many landowners like that, so it's been very refreshing. The role of the Land Trust is to deliver that public access. And in order to do that, we need to raise the funds to design and construct and deliver a trailhead, with adequate parking and a restroom and the kinds of things that we have on some of our foothills trails now. So it'll take us a little while to do that, but just the fact that we have the opportunity to do that is wonderful.
After receiving the $500,000 payment from the Land Trust, the landowners then purchased 400 acres of adjacent property 4 miles up the Nahum Canyon and put a conservation easement on that land as well. In an unrelated development, it was also announced yesterday that another land deal in the Lake Wenatchee area is proceeding. The Land Trust and the group Western Rivers Conservancy have partnered up to purchase over 3,700 acres of land along Nason Ridge from Weyerhaeuser. The purchase is conditioned upon the two groups and the Lake Wenatchee community to generate the $1 million price tag. An online fundraising campaign has also been launched on the Land Trust website. The two groups' goal is to preserve the former timber harvest area for trails and open space. With levees built to withstand expected river flows and sandbags stockpiled throughout Okanogan County, emergency crews have completed flood protection efforts along the Okanogan River. The river remains at flood levels, but conditions have quieted down, that according to emergency management spokeswoman Rachel Doniger.
Now we're just monitoring the river levels and the conditions to keep an eye on the weather and the levels of the river to make sure that we don't miss anything. We still have some Army Corps of Engineers that are on site helping us monitor those areas.
Doniger says river monitoring efforts will now be managed by the county's Department of Emergency Management and cities along the river valley. Emergency crews have been working around the clock to protect threatened properties from flooding.
Well, there's been over 200,000 sandbags that have been put out, and we have some in some strategic areas just in case, but the community has done a great job coming together and getting ready for any sort of flooding or anything like that. They've done a nice job of getting their homes set up with sandbags, and we encourage people not to remove those too soon. So to keep those in through the weekend and then wait to hear from us on our Facebook, which is where we're releasing our information on what the next steps will be.
The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers will remain in Okanogan County to ensure the stability of levees. Veterans Relief Organization Team Rubicon will also be in Okanogan County to help residents in need of assistance during the flood and after waters recede. Coming up next, Chelan County District Court will have a new judge sitting on the bench after this fall's election. We'll introduce you to one of the candidates seeking the position, Prosecutor Alan Blackman. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCW Life Evening News.
Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house, featuring great family dining in downtown Chelan. We've got burgers, pub fare, and the best barbecue around. Try one of our award-winning sauces made fresh here in-house. So grab the whole gang and come on down. Stormy Mountain Brewing. Beer, barbecue, friends, and beer.
Having a relationship with your pediatrician is so important. Feeling that sense of trust, that is priceless. I tell everybody about CBCH. I love it there. When I make an appointment, I don't have to take an entire day off. As a working mom, my life is really busy. Family time is everything. That's what we all work towards. And I feel like CBCH respects that.
J&J Snack Foods makes a lot of dough-filled products. It's really hard to attract labor in this area. We've reached out to Goodwill, and Goodwill came through to help us get that achieved. John started here at the plant a couple of months ago. We promoted him to a dough maker. He's doing well.
I'm actually doing great. I'm finally getting more notice and appreciated for my work here. I love the products we make here.
If you're struggling finding the labor that you need, reach out to Goodwill. Goodwill, there's more behind the store.
Welcome back. In another news, Chelan County District Court will have a new judge sitting on the bench after this fall's election. One of the candidates seeking the position is Alan Blackman, who has worked as a county prosecutor since 1996. He says his experience as a prosecutor makes him the most qualified candidate to succeed Judge Nancy Harmon.
The United States Supreme Court and the Washington State Supreme Court look at us as a prosecutor, as a quasi-judicial officer, and really if we're doing our job properly, we're not just there to seek a conviction, but we're rather there to seek justice and to make sure everybody's rights are protected in that courtroom, as well as the defendant's rights. We want to make sure that the law enforcement officers or the state, the court, or even their own attorney is not violating their rights, as well as watching out for the victims too, because they have rights as well. And so as a prosecutor, our duty is to seek justice. We don't want to get any convictions of individuals who are innocent, so we want to make sure we prosecute those who are guilty, but make sure the innocent are free as well. And as my job as a prosecutor, I believe that transfers very well to the bench.
Blackman is a Wenatchee native, having graduated from Wenatchee High School. He also attended the University of Washington and Syracuse University. The Chelan County Public Works Department will be busy this week cleaning up and rebuilding the shoulder between mileposts 10 and 12 on the Malaga-Alcoa Highway. Flash floods late Thursday night came down at least 4 draws and canyons along that stretch of highway, leaving behind rock and debris. Crews will be hauling large rock to the site to rebuild the shoulders. Smaller screened material then will be placed over it. Motorists should avoid the area this week if they can. There will be heavy truck traffic. The work area will be one lane with traffic flaggers controlling traffic. Expect minor delays. Crews also will be brooming along number 1 Canyon, number 2 Canyon, and Halverson roads, where the rain event also left some smaller debris. Prescribed burning continues on the Okanagan and Wenatchee National Forest. Crews on the Methow Valley Ranger District this week completed a 450-acre burn in the 8-mile drainage. The smoke that settled into the valley Monday evening was taking some time to lift. The unit will continue to produce some smoke as larger fuels burn out. Officials say with the fuel conditions changing and the extended weather forecasted for warmer and drier conditions, the district does not anticipate doing additional prescribed burning until this fall. Central Washington Hospital was the only hospital in all of Washington to recently be named America's Best Hospitals for Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Surgery. The achievement is part of findings released in the Health Grades 2018 report to the nation. Confluence Health was formally recognized for America's 100 Best Orthopedic and Spine Surgery. Central Washington Hospital also received the Joint Replacement Excellence Award and was recognized for outstanding patient experience. These awards identify Central Washington Hospital among the top 10% of hospitals nationwide for the 6th consecutive year. You're watching the NCW Life Evening News. Coming up next, your sports update with Eric Granstrom and our feature story tonight. That and much more still to come on the NCW Life Evening News. Stay with us.
It turns out, some people are more likely to do well at charter college and succeed in a new career. So, what's this charter type? Charter types are go-getters. Charter types follow through. Charter types love a challenge. If you're a hard worker looking for a fast path to a better career, you're just our type. Charter College. We work to get you to work.
Walk and Roll Wenatchee's Asian Express is fast, fresh food. Wenatchee Roll's new Poke Hawaiian Fresh Salad Bar is the best. Fresh greens, fresh seafood, and handmade sauces. You know what you want. At Walk and Roll, create your own style meal. Hot off the line chicken, beef, and veggie plates. Lunch or dinner to match your appetite. Fresh sushi, hot entrees, Poke Fresh Salad Bar. It's new. It's Walk and Roll Wenatchee, fast, fresh food your way. Located on 5th and Mission.
And now it's a sports update on the NCW Life channel.
And a happy Tuesday. Several hundred Wenatchee Wild fans turned out for an end-of-the-season rally at the Town Toyota Center last night. It was a chance for fans to give one more cheer for the team that had delivered the Fred Page Cup, you see being held right there, and the Doyle Cup Championship. But also a chance for the team, coaches, and staff to thank the Wild Nation for its support. Wenatchee went 24-6 in the playoffs, undefeated at home, only to fall in the semifinals of the Canadian Junior Hockey National Championships. Coach and General Manager Bliss Littler says it was a rough morning the day after his team lost to Wellington.
Their bodies are beat up. 2.5 months of playoff hockey. You could see they gave everything they had. But you could see the heartache. You could see it. You could feel it on them. As a coaching staff, I told them, I said, it's awesome right now to see this many of you guys hurt, because it just means you care. I told them that in a few days, this hurt's going to go away. We're not going to let this define our season. That in a few days from now, you'll feel a little bit better. And today, when the guys came through one at a time for their exit meetings, you could see them starting to feel a little better. And tomorrow they'll wake up and they're going to think about this great crowd again that showed up.
Voice of the Wild, Arch Eckers, summed up the incredible run for Wenatchee nicely.
And then the BCHL says, you want to win the Fred Page Cup? You got to play Prince George. So we did. And we beat them too. And we got that big shiny cup. So then they said to us, you want to play for the national championship? Well, you're going to have to go play the champions from the Alberta League, the Spruce Grove Saints. So we did. And we beat them too. $132 teams across 10 different leagues started out this season. The eastern half of Canada, they played through their playoff structures. They ended up sending Ottawa and Wellington to the RBC tournament. Manitoba and Saskatchewan, their leagues played through their playoff system, and they sent the Steinbach Pistons. Now, Chilliwack was there too because, well, I don't know, I guess it's their building, so whatever. So we played all of those teams, and guess what happened? We beat them too. Every one of them.
Captain A.J. Vanderbeck and League MVP Jasper Weatherby were quick to thank Wenatchee Wild fans for their support.
I'd like to thank everyone who's been here in attendance from the team. There's nothing we like more than coming to play in front of a full packed house, and we couldn't do it with all our fans without the coaching staff, our ownership, and just the whole community as a whole. And made my last year truly special, and I'm honored to be a part of such a great organization, such a great community, and such a great town in general. So thank you for everyone.
This isn't possible without the fans, and that's you guys. So thank you guys so much. I remember, let's see, it was Game 6 against Vernon here. We had a chance to close them out. Going into the third period, we're down 3-1, and I'll never forget skating out of that. Out of the tunnel there, and hearing the fans just go crazy. The energy you guys gave us, really, without that, we might be going back to Vernon to play a Game 7, and who knows how that goes. So, in closing, just want to thank everyone here, all the behind-the-scenes people. Thank you guys so much, and let's go Wild.
As an organization, the Wild turn right around and hold their final tryout camp this weekend. Players report in just another 90 days. Art Checker will join us Thursday morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley for more thoughts and reflections on a record-breaking season for the Wenatchee Wild. The WIAA State Golf Tournaments are underway today with the 4A girls taking place at Sun Willows and Pasco. 4A boys teed it up this morning at Canyon Lakes and Kennewick. 1A boys are in Spokane at Liberty Lake, while the 1B and 2B boys and girls are at Hangman Valley. We'll have results tomorrow morning right here on Wenatchee Valley. And the Mariners begin a 3-game road swing today in Oakland as they continue play in American League West. Seattle starts the day in second place, 2 games behind first place Houston. The Mariners are coming off a weekend series in which they won 3 of 4 from Detroit to improve to 27-19. Oakland's 4th in American League West at 25-22. Mike Leake will start on the mound for Seattle tonight against Trevor Cahill. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Grandstrom on the NCW Life Channel. Grant, back to you.
Thank you, Eric. In tonight's feature story, it's the return of former Washington Secretary of State Ralph Monroe and his continuing series, My Favorite Places. Tonight, Ralph Monroe discusses the classic wooden roller coaster at the Washington State Fair in Puyallup, built in the 1930s.
When you go to the State Fair in Puyallup, 2 things are on your mind. First, the taste of those tremendous cones. Secondly, a ride on the roller coaster. This beautiful old coaster, built in the 1930s, now rebuilt a couple of times, it's still just as exciting and just as fun. I remember coming here, I think first in 1956 or 57, and the first thing we wanted to do was get in the line for the roller coaster. It was going to be the best ride we'd ever had. There's nothing like the roller coaster. I've been doing it since the 1950s. The roller coaster is one of my favorite places.
Support for My Favorite Places is provided by the Washington Hospitality Association and by Weatherly Inn, senior living where it's home and your family.
We'll be back with more news and your complete local weather forecast right after this.
Hi, I'm Cordell Schroeder, owner of East Wenatchee Mobile Storage.
If you're thinking about making a move anytime soon, check out the East Wenatchee Mini Storage brand new mobile storage service. They drop it off at your location, you pack it, and they pick it up and store it in their protected warehouse at East Wenatchee for as long as you need. When you're ready, they'll drop it off at your new home or office. East Wenatchee Mini Storage is excited to offer this brand new service to our region.
Call 509-884-8643 or find us on the web at ewministorage.com.
Life is about memories and lasting impressions. With Boswell's expansive 2-story showroom of quality home furnishings, you'll find everything you need to create a home to remember. Need assistance? From fabric options and complimentary design service to complete home makeovers, Glenn, Buffy, and Teresa are there to guide you. Come into Boswell's and find inspiration and comfort for every room in your home. Boswell's on Easy Street. It's closer than you think.
Welcome back. Chelan County fire crews were called out to the 4600 block of Navarre Cooley Road, also known as State Route 971, today on a brush fire. Thankfully, little wind was present as firefighters arrived and worked to quickly douse those flames. The fire was about 4 miles south of Lake Chelan State Park. As we can see in the footage provided by our Local-Tel Sky-Fi cameras, there are some homes in the area, but no damage was reported. No word on how the fire may have started. Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast, and let's get right to that satellite loop because we do have changing weather. Here's our situation at 6 o'clock tonight. We're seeing those very warm temperatures with highs in the mid-80s around most of Washington, especially towards the southeastern corner of the state. We did climb in the lower to mid-80s today. As we work our way into Wednesday, this is where things change a little bit. An area of low pressure will slide underneath our ridge of high pressure, and that could kick off some thunderstorms. And we're talking maybe some brief heavy rain and even some small hail associated with some of these storms. And that will pretty much be our afternoon. Even by 6 o'clock tomorrow night, we could still see some of those scattered showers and thunderstorms. And boy, look at all over the western United States. It will be a wet one on Wednesday. Things could continue right into our early morning hours on Thursday, but then by the afternoon, that's right back to the warm weather. In fact, all of eastern Washington will be in the 80s, maybe even the lower 90s in some locations on Thursday. Pretty much the same forecast for most of Friday, and then things will change once again as we get into the upcoming weekend. Let's take a look now at your Quick Lube and Tune forecast, and we will see a very mild overnight low tonight of 64 degrees, 88 your high on Wednesday. Remember, about a 30% chance for showers and thunderstorms. Thursday, sunny and hot and 90, and then a pretty big cool down beginning on Friday. A slight chance for showers Friday and Saturday, and then things get nice once again on Sunday and Monday with 80 our high temperature Sunday and a beautiful high temperature on your Memorial Day of 83 degrees. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. Also, keep it right here on the NCW Life channel tomorrow morning for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with host Dan Kuntz and News with Steve Hare. Thanks for joining us and have a great night.
This is TV. This is TV Set Free. TV everywhere from Local-Tel sets you free to watch what you want, where you want. Catch your favorite networks, including live TV, ready to watch on any web-connected device for no extra charge. That's TV Set Free. Enjoy the extra value Local-Tel delivers with TV everywhere. Visit localtel.net and sign up today.
Hey there, Wenatchee. I'm Sean Lee, and I'm inviting you to check out the NCW Movie Guide to keep up on what movies are playing in our town.
Dear Mary Maids, just got home from a trade show and I didn't have time to pick up the house. Kids made chili. Jeff did a mud run. Oh, and Winston shredded Teddy's bed. Again, please clean it the best you can. Oh, except for the statue Max made for me. Thanks, Abby.
Hi, Abby. Clean kitchen, clean bath, clean floor, naughty cat, poor Teddy. The statue is precious. You should keep it forever. See you next time, Mary Maids.
Lake Chelan